Okay, we'll start going more deeper into the library now. Today we'll continue with something called as wrapper classes. A very important subject of Java. Okay, wrapper classes. Actually, there are 8 wrapper classes. There are 8 wrapper classes. Understood? For every primitive, no, there's one wrapper class. Like for int, you got to see this is primitive type. This is primitive type, and this is the wrapper class for it. For int, the wrapper class is called as integer. You know the conventions now? Capital I, see there. Then for you have from beginning only you can take. It start off from the beginning. Like for every primitive type you have, like byte. This is the class. Short. Class name is short. Int. The class name is integer. Okay, then you got long. The class name is long. Then you got float. Then you got boolean. Sorry, float. Double. Boolean. And char. Char. So for these 8 data types, what are the class names? Float, double, boolean, and for char it is character. Okay, so you have 8 primitive types. To represent every primitive type, you got one wrapper class. Clear? So there are 8 primitive types. Now why do you use this wrapper class? Okay, see, generally when you are programming applications, you will get all this requirement. You want to convert primitives to objects, or you want to convert objects to primitives. Requirement will come like that: primitives to object or object to primitives. So these wrapper classes are used for that. You can use wrapper classes for converting from primitives to objects or objects to primitive. There are many advantages. This is one of the advantages what you are going to see now. See, first I'll show you how to convert a primitive to object. Class demo. Okay, so I'll write int I is equal to 10. Understood? So now I want to convert I to integer. So I can do it by writing what? Integer x is equal to new integer of I. That's it. Now what is class integer doing here? It encapsulates that information. Every class in Java encapsulates one information. Remember that. Okay. And there are methods in class integer which will work upon that data. Which data? The value what you are giving now, 10. Okay. So every class in Java encapsulates some information. Every class you take, you saw string class, string buffer class, string builder class. They are all encapsulating what information? Group of characters. But this is encapsulating what information? The int value. It is encapsulating the int value, 10 value it encapsulates. Understood? Or it wraps it. It is wrapping it. Understood? It wraps it, and that's why they call it as wrapper classes. Okay. So now after doing this, you can continue writing. Okay. See, you can write SOPI, SOPX. What is the result, you know? Result is same. This is 10. What is the result of this? 10 only. Why? SOPX it will not print address. It will print 10. Why? ToString is overridden. Whenever you don't see address, understand that toString has been overridden. That's it. Okay, means when you create an object of this, shall I remove this? Okay. Again the same story will start now. You don't have to worry too much. They have written classes for all this, logics for all this. There is one class called as integer. We are going to see this today. We are going to cover all the classes, not only integer. Class integer. They'll be having some variable. Let me check out what's the variable name. So what they do is, we'll see the source code. Supposingly I give the variable, supposingly it's having int p. Okay, and this will be something like z. We'll see what is the variable name. I'll just show you. Or we'll see it only. We'll see the source code of this file. So in the toString, what they'll be doing now? They'll be returning that value. Nothing else they'll do. So this is the constructor. You are using this constructor now. Okay, what will you do? Z is equal to P. So when you say integer I is equal to integer of I, the value of I is given to what? P. The value of P is given to what? Z. It is encapsulated now. Okay, the toString method will return the same value. Return in the form of string that it will return it. Return, we'll see how they convert the primitive to string, but finally they'll return what? Z, that's it. Understood? So, I'll show you the source code in a second. Wait, we'll see the program more. Understood? So, this is how they do it. So, every class in Java encapsulates the information. Okay, so next, now you might be having a question. Why should I convert the primitive to object? Is that next question is this. We know first what we learned is converting primitive to object. You didn't know that, so I showed you. Next, as soon as I convert, next what you'll ask? Why should I convert? A common question, sir. Understood? So now see, why do I convert it? The result is same here. There is no difference. If you print SOP, here also prints. Here also it prints the same. Now see, here you'll understand the advantage. Int j is equal to 20. There is one more variable called as j. That also I will convert into what? Integer y is equal to a new integer of what? J. So both I and j have been wrapped into what? Objects. Means there are two objects which have been created. See, I value is there. What was the value of I? 10. I value is there. Means in it will be represented now. You got I which is having the value of 10. Okay, or we'll take x and y, only x and y. So the value of 10 is stored in x object, and the value of y is stored in, sorry, the value of I is being stored in what object? X object. The value of j is stored in y object. Two objects I have created, x and y. It has been wrapped. Okay, so now after that, now okay, if I print SOP I, then if I print even SOP j, it will print 10 and 20. This is no issue. But if you print SOP X, SOP Y, this also will print what? 10 and 20. Now when it's printing the same value, why should I store it, you'll ask. The answer is simple now. See, many times why we convert primitive to objects is, there are some utility methods. There are some utility methods present in this. This is the first reason. Many reasons are there. One of the reason why we convert primitive to object is because of the powerful utility methods. What do you mean by utility methods? Like I want to check whether I and j are equal. Whether the value of I and j is equal or not. Yes or no? So how will you write the logic? How will you write the logic? How will you check whether I and j are equal or not? I dot equals, huh? So you write the logic like this. If I is equal to j, SOP they are equal, else they are not equal. But you are writing logic now. Why do you want to write? Java says that never write any logic. You will not write any logic in Java. I am telling you very clearly. Understood? In all languages you write the logic. So this is how you check the equality now. If I equal to j, yes or no? If I is equal to j, SOP they are equal. Else SOP I and j are not equal. Yes or no? Instead of that, we do this here. If x dot equals of y, finished. Equals method also has been overridden now. Where? In integer. So that toString and equals is, you are seeing extensively equals and which one now? toString method. So gradually you will understand the equals and toString method of what? Class object. Similarly you will understand the other methods, which one? Hash code. There are some methods we saw now of object class, you will understand. So now they are getting used extensively. Which one? Which two methods? toString and equals method. So are you clear with this? So you are not going to write logic. So if it is primitive, you have to write like this. Not that is the utility method. Utility method means instead of rewriting the logic, you have the built-in logic for it. Next, one more utility method. Means many methods are there. Okay, instead of means it is used quite commonly. No, that's why they called as utility methods. Understood? Now I want to compare whether x is greater than y. Sorry, whether I is greater than j or whether 10 is greater than 20. I want to compare. Checking equality is different. Okay, so you have to write the logic. See how will you write the logic now? I remove this. See, you have to write the logic like this. If I, see the logic you are writing. If I is greater than j, SOP, something will print. I greater than j. Else if I less than j, SOP, I less than j. Else SOP, both are equal. Correct now? Now I'll not do anything. I'll put it into water. I'll wrap it. Now I'll call which method? The answer for this is what? X dot. Okay, the return type of this is int. Compare method I'll call. Okay, I'll write it here. Instead of this, you write int result is equal to x dot compare of y. That's it, over. The return type is what? Positive number or negative number or 0. If 1, x is greater than y. If minus 1, x is lesser than y. Okay. So if 0, both are equal. Simple as that. You will not write any logic, man. I am telling you very clearly in Java. Okay. So when you go on writing applications, you will get the problems. All these problems you will get. So for all these logics, you are having what? Ready-made methods. So what do we do in projects, you might ask? We concentrate only on business logic. We concentrate only on domain logic. Rest all you got. All things are there. Like this. We'll see what is the support we get. Anyway, are you comfortable with this now? This is how the wrapper classes work now. Are you clear? So sometimes we convert primitive to the object, objects to primitives. Both will be doing. Understood? Both you will be doing. Okay. And now remember this. Yeah, I think we are done with this. So you saw how to convert a primitive to object now? There are many reasons. Okay. And a wrapper class is supporting that now. Which one is supporting? A wrapper class is supporting you to convert primitives to object. But sometimes what happen? You will be storing the, shall I clear all this now? And see, it is having methods now. This it is having methods. Which are the methods you saw now? Compare. All these methods are present where? In class integer. So when you call those methods, they get executed. Equals, compare. You can call all the methods like this. Like this, they keep working. Okay, fine. So now see, here I showed you how to convert a primitive to object. Sometimes you would have created an object like this. See, you got a value. Okay, you got a value now. You decided you wanted to write some logic like comparing to, what is that? Comparing to values or checking equality of it. That's why you decided to store it in objects like this. After doing both of them, what is that? After comparing s dot equals of y, then after doing x dot compare of y, you have written all this logic. Now you want to add these values. Which one? The value stored in x and value stored in y. That's when what you do, you convert objects to primitives. Both will be happening. You will convert primitives to objects also, objects to primitives also will be doing. So that time what you do, you will call a method x dot int value. There is a method I'll show you. X dot int value. So we are working with only methods now. X dot int value, return type will be what? Int p, int q is equal to y dot int value. We are calling the method. So automatically we'll get the primitive value of it. Now I can do addition. How will I do the addition? Int result r is equal to p plus q. You can do the addition like this. Okay. So now many times we'll be doing this. Okay. And this technically is known as converting primitives to object. And object to primitive is technically known as boxing and unboxing. Technically known as boxing and unboxing. Check this out now. I'll write what is boxing now. What is boxing now? Boxing is a process of converting primitives to object. Okay, boxing is a process of converting what? Primitives to object. Okay, so now see this example for boxing now. Example for boxing. Int I is equal to 10. Now see how will I do it? Integer x is equal to new integer of I. Just now I showed you, but I'm using one terminology now, that's it. So what is this called as? Boxing. This line is only boxing line. Understood? Boxing means converting primitives to object. Okay, so this is done. Now example for unboxing. Okay, see this. Now x is there now. I want to convert it to what? Primitive. So what will I do? X dot int value. You know everything, just I'm classifying it now. This is boxing, this is unboxing. So I'll just write this is int p. So this is called as unboxing. What is boxing? Clear? Converting primitives to object. What is unboxing? Converting objects to primitives. Understood? So there are plenty of advantages of converting primitives to object. One by one I'll just show you some example. Okay, still more we'll start studying now about all these wrapper classes. So first I'll type you and show you all this, and then we'll continue with all the things, other things. Okay. Okay, I can go to Eclipse, same workspace, new project you create. Okay, lang package only will go. Just 1 second, I'll do one thing here, just to avoid confusion. Eclipse examples, August 2000, everything is same, Ravi Kumar. Java examples also correct. Just core Java examples, I'll rename it to core Java, that's it. Just remove the examples here. This JW examples also remove it and make it as JW, that's it. It's one major, small change I'm doing in the name of the folder. Okay. So now say other things are same. Everything is same. Only I will change the name of core Java examples and JW examples, because every place you will come across example, you'll get confused. So that's why I have removed it. Yeah. Okay. Let's come back to Eclipse now. Lang package. Oh, it opened a new one. Be careful when you change the name. Pick from there only. See, it created of one more. Understood now? So, lang package. I want to reset the previous workspace. Okay, so see this wrapper class, you create a new one like this, new project. Now in that source what you do, you can create one package now. You create on com dot cluster dot wrapper demo. This is the package name. Com dot cluster dot wrapper demo is the package name. I'll finish it. Then in this package, what will I do? New class wrapper demo I'll do. Okay, I'll have public static void main. Fine. Now we'll start seeing. So what is that? Yeah, see now. Int I is equal to 10. This you know, there's nothing big about this. SOPI means it will print. It will print as 10. That's nothing big for us. Okay. But the thing is next, how do you put it into how do you store it into an object now? I'll wrap it now. How will I wrap it? See this. Integer is a class now. X is equal to new integer of I. Valid syntax. Highly valid syntax. Understood? So this is only called as what? Boxing. This is only called as boxing. And sys out. You can type and print X. I'll print here. Value of X is plus X. So here also I'll print value of Y is. See, both is 10 only, there is no difference. Understood? Are you clear? Okay, next. Sometimes you will convert what? The primitives to objects to primitives. Examples here. Int P is equal to what? X dot. See the list of members. Which class members? Integer class members. Class integer. Okay, int value. What's the return type? Int. Clearly it is telling you. Press enter. Fine. Again you print. So what is this called as? Unboxing. That's it. Okay. So converting primitives to objects and objects, you learned how to do it now. Fine. Now what is the advantage of converting a primitive to object? Next question. Okay, this will remove unboxing now. Leave it. Now let's see here. Int I is equal to 10. Int j is equal to 20. Okay. Now if you want, you can print both values. What it will print? Value of I and j it will print. 10 and 20. No issues. Fine. Now I'll convert both to what? Objects, int x and int y I'll declare as a new integer of j. Fine. Then I'll print value of x and y. Doesn't make any difference. The value will be same. Yes, if you want, you can see the output. ij 1020, xy 1020. Fine. Next. But the thing is, why do you convert a primitive to object? Very simple. See here. I'll just say int. Or we'll go with first checking equality. Boolean b is equal to x dot equals of which one? Y. That's it. I am not writing any logic to check whether they are equal or not. If I is equal to j and all that. Simple. I just call the method sysout. Now you can write both are equal. Okay, or just print val of b is plus b. That's it. False. They are not equal. Or if you want, you can write some more better logic. If b what will you do? Both are equal. That is your wish, man. What you want to print, you print. Else they are not equal. Done. So now you can check out what it prints. Same, it prints they are not equal. But the moment I change the value, j value will change it to what? 10. See then. They are equal now. So as simple as that. So we don't write any logics in Java. So get this point now. So x dot equals of y. Fine. Then next this boxing. Okay. Now this is about checking equality. So there are great advantages you get when you convert a primitive to object. Plenty of advantages. We are seeing simple things. Okay. I'll comment this. I'll go with. Is it not happening? What's with the editor? The editor is not working properly. One second. Okay, that logic is gone. Leave it, no problem. I'll go with which one now? Compare. Int z is equal to x dot compare. Okay, which value I'll give? Y. That's it. Compare to y. That's it. Now is sys out. Can print L of z is plus z. Okay. 0 it tells. 0 means what? They are equal, same. Means it's comparing now, whether which one, first one is greater than second one. Okay, so you know you compare two strings now, same way you are comparing here. Okay, so now if I give 10 and 20, it is giving -1. Remember, it will, in integers it will give only 3 values. There it was giving the positive value, negative value. In strings when you compare it now, positive, negative plus it was giving the difference of the ASCII value. Here no difference and all that. Just it will give what? Positive, negative, 0. Positive 1, negative 1 or 0. This is the only result you will get here, nothing else. See, the value is 20. I will make it 200. Still what it will be the answer? -1 only. Okay, supposingly I make I 1000. What will be the value? +1. That's all. Understood? Because the first one is greater than the second one. It's like that. Clear? If the first one is lesser, it will be negative answer, -1. Greater, it will be positive answer. Or both are same, it will be 0. It is comparing which one is greater than which one. Are you clear this? Fine. Some more members will see now. So now all this will comment again. Okay, like that you can write the equality logic just now. I wrote it for you. Now see this, a very interesting thing. I want to know what is the maximum value a int can store, int I. Okay. Max value of an integer. Plus, see this, integer dot. See, there are 3 static final variables. These are static variables. Now you'll understand why they write static variables in a class. So max value, it's of type what? Int. Press enter. Okay. So see the output now. See, this is the maximum, means this is the range. You know range now? We discussed about range. You don't have to buy out anything in Java. I'm telling you everything, you'll get it. It's in the library. How did they put it into the library? In the class integer, they declared one variable. And they don't want this to be modified. That's why they have made it as what? Final, static final. And they are not making it as an instance variable. Notice why they are not making it as an instance variable? Because everywhere they need only one copy of it. So it's just common sense now. You are just seeing now how they are using static variables, how they are using static methods, okay, how they are using constructors, how they are writing methods. That's it. What we learned, they are doing it for us. Okay, instead of we writing even if you want to write the logic now, you should have written it in this way. Instead of you writing, they are providing it to you in the library. Not only max value, you can go with what? Minimum value. So I'm just exposing the members of class integer today, nothing else. Till now I exposed which member? Int value. Now other member is which I am introducing. Int value as the method. Max value is the variable. Now one more, min value. Min value. Minimum value of integer. Then I found I can check the size of integer. Integer dot. See how they declare the static final variables. Notice caps. Instance variables follow what convention? Camel casing convention. Employee ID will be written like this, int. Employee ID will be written like this. But the same if you have constants, all will be caps. 2 words, there will be underscore. Understood? 2 words are there for a variable name, there will be underscore provided it is a constant. But if it is not a constant, you will join it like this. Understood? These are the naming conventions which you should know now, only then you can work here. Understood? Library, if you want to understand the library, these are all very essential rules or standards. Clear? Fine, then next, these are all static final variables. You can see now what is the size of int? 32 no? 4 bits. That's it. So you can get all this. So just I gave a demo of how wrapper classes can be used. Now we'll start seeing more things about this, and meanwhile you can also see the source code, lab purpose at SRC. You can go Java, Lang, integer class. You can go yes here. Yeah, this is a static final variable. Yes or no? You're understanding now how they are declared. See the name, source code. I'm showing you. I'm showing you the source code of what? Class integer. Now this is the source code of what? Max value. But look, what is this? Hexadecimal value. Because since they will be big, they use hexadecimal. Finally you are getting the answer now. And you get print, you'll get it in the decimal style. So Java, that's how they use hexadecimal. We programmers never use, but internally sometimes when they are writing their code, they'll be using all this. Understood? Hexadecimal, anything we can use. So this is also hexadecimal. Understood? Next. So this is one, so many things are there you can go through. This is one constructor now. Okay. Then these are methods now. These are all static methods. Plenty of methods are there to support what and all we'll see. Two-string method just now which I was telling you, it has been overridden. No, this is overloaded. See here. Int I, it is overloaded. Okay. Means let's see what it does. Then many methods are there. You can go through all this. Okay, many methods are there. Now this is source code, but again as I tell you, do not go into the source code. We only work on abstraction. I call this method, what is going to happen? That's it. So you start studying the members of what now? Class, integer, float, double, all that. So if you understand one class here properly, it's as good as understanding what? All the 8 classes. All 8 classes you'll understand very easily now. Clear? Okay. So let's see some notes for wrapper classes now. Yeah, wrapper class encapsulates. It's encapsulating now, or wraps what? The primitive type. Next, there are many advantages. Just now I showed you only few things. Okay. See, there are 2 main advantages of converting primitives to wrapper objects. There are 2 main advantages. We get lot of utility support. We get support for what? Utility support like what? These 2 I showed you just now. Means, see, whenever I show you something, obviously you'll ask me example. For others also I have to give example. Again, you can convert from one data type to other type also. I'll be showing you all that now. Understood? Then also, see this point, very late you'll understand. Just write it down. When I talk about collections, Java collections is there. Okay. So there is something called as Java collections, array list, linked list and all that. So when you're adding values there now. Okay, see, obviously you'll using the data structure support what? Why do you use the data structure support? For storing values. Okay, you'll be using it. Okay, but while you're storing values in which one? Those structures, you cannot store it in primitive style. Compulsory you have to store it in object style. Compulsory it is. So that is when you'll be forced to convert primitives to objects. Forced. Understood? So let's see what all that later. But see this. I'll just mention the point here. Since Java collection classes like linked list, reset, etc. store all values as object and do not allow primitives to be stored, we have to convert all primitives to object. And finally, look at this main point now. Java is giving support for both primitive data types and objects to store primitive values. So if you want to store a primitive value, any primitive value, it can be, till now I am showing you integer value, it can be a decimal value, it can be a char value, it can be a boolean value. How many primitive values are there? 3 types. Character, non-character. Understood? Integer values, character value. Sorry. How many types of values are there, you know, no? Integer values, okay. Numeric, non-numeric. Numeric and non-numeric. In numeric you are having whole number, real numbers. Again in non-numeric you are having char and boolean. Understood? So all these primitive values you can store it in 2 styles. Till now you are storing it in which style? Primitives only. Any value you wanted, you are storing it in what style? If I say store the value of 10 now, what were you doing? You are only thinking of the possible options. Which one? Byte, short, int and long. Understood? If you want to store a value of 10, either you will use byte, or you will use short, or you will use int, or you will use long. So these are the 4 data types you are using. Not only the primitives, from now to store this kind of a value, primitive value, this is value, this is the data type. Remember, this is the data type and this is the value, and these are called as primitive values. And to store primitive values you have got primitive data types. But apart from primitive data types, Java is giving you what? Wrapper classes also to store primitive values. Both you can store. You can store it either in wrapper class or you can store it in primitive. Means, see, like this I can write directly. Integer x is equal to new integer of 10. This is valid. Yes or no? So this point is very, very important now. Java is giving support for both primitive data types and objects to store primitive values. Understood? See, primitive data type. These are the primitive data type. You can, to store this value of 10, you have these many 4 are already there. Okay, but now you can also store it in your wrapper classes. That's the meaning of that point. Okay, and you know why we store it. There are plenty of advantages. So for every primitive type, there is one wrapper class. Means how many primitive types are there? 8. So that's why I got 8 wrapper classes. Just 1 second. And all these solutions, yeah, again you can get into internet and you can check into the library. Okay, there also you can see you got the APIs or documents to support all this. See this again. Today also when you learn, you have to go to what? You have to refer to those documents only and study. Simply don't by heart any methods here. You should only know which method is present where, roughly. So tomorrow if you want to use it, you should know how to search in the library now. Like example, I'll go to Google now. See here, I'll type integer. Press enter. Don't type too much. Directly see here. You'll get the support for what? Java only first. Don't type java.lang.integer and all. Where in Google? Understood? So Oracle documentation you can go. See the API you'll get the document. It's the same thing what you saw now. Members, max value, min value, size. Okay. Then I used a method. Which one? Int value. These are the variables here. This is field summary means what? Variables. Constructor summary means what? Constructors. I use this constructor now right now. I was passing what value? Int value. Integer x is equal to new integer of 10. Means I was passing an int value. Constructors, methods. Okay, I was using which method? Int value method. What is the, does it require any argument? No. What is the return type of this? Int. So returns the value of this integer as int. Full story tells you. You don't have to by heart anything here. Understood? We are just exploring the library and just checking out how to use the library. Understood? You can, there are many methods. We'll start understanding one by one. So this was the document we are going through. Wrapper classes, yes. Now see, there are 8 wrapper classes which are equivalent to what? 8 primitive data types. Understood? So now what is the advantage of this wrapper class? Next question will be obviously having it. Okay. So these are the 3 advantages. I have just discussed about little. We can convert primitives to objects and objects to primitive with the help of what? Wrapper class. And it also helps you to convert data type from one data type to another data type. We'll see example for this. Okay. Also it is important for what? Checking, what is that? For utility methods. There are many advantages of wrapper classes. Fine. Next. Is Java 100% or pure object oriented language? Huh? No, it is not 100% object oriented language. Okay. So why it is not 100% object oriented language? Because of primitive data types still existing. There are primitive data types still existing in the language. Okay, so Java is giving you support for both primitives as well as objects. Why is Java giving you support for 2 things? That we'll understand. After we complete data types, then you'll understand why is Java giving support for both the data types. That is primitive style also, object style also. Fine. When should you use primitive or wrapper class, and why is Java giving support for both primitive and wrapper? We'll come and discuss these 2 points. Let us keep these 2 points pending, because unless you understand the subject, there's no point in discussing that. Okay. Meanwhile, you can write it down. You can write these points. Clear? Fine. Next. See now, we'll start off. Following are the general conversions we generally do. Okay, there are many conversions you'll be doing. Okay, when you're writing applications now, in your application you'll be doing many types of conversion. Like example, you'll be converting a primitive to wrapper. Which one? Example for that, into integer. Look carefully, I have written into integer. That's the example. Next, sometimes I'll convert one primitive to another primitive. That you know, typecasting and all you have done. I want to convert into what? Byte to float. But you convert no. You convert from what? Primitive to another primitive. Like same way, primitive to string you will convert. Till now you are saying int I is equal to 10. I want to convert it to string. How do you do it? String dot value of I. Yesterday we were discussing value of method. Understood? I was teaching you string, I was discussing about that. Fine, then you will convert wrapper to primitive, wrapper to string, string to primitive, or string to wrapper. All these conversions are there. So too many conversions you'll be doing. And this was the main question you are already getting. Okay, I want to do data conversions, I'm getting confused. So what is the best way, how to do it and all that? Now you are getting all the answers. Check out now. So now see this, one very important point. All primitive types can be converted to what? String. Any primitive type can be converted to string, or it can be converted to wrapper object. Int x is equal to 10. X can be converted to what? String also, or it can be converted to wrapper object also. Int x is equal to 10 can be converted to string also, or it can be converted to wrapper object also. That's the meaning of that statement. We'll start one by one now. See, these are your definite interview questions. How to convert primitives to wrapper objects. First question, let's see this. Answer for that, I've prepared all the examples. Just go through all this, and it's very neatly organized. See how we give the package names. It will be easy for you to identify. What is that I want? My requirement is what? What is my first requirement? Primitive to wrapper. I want to convert. How do I convert? Okay. So I have kept it here, primitive to wrapper object. This is the package name. Go there, open the code. No problem. See, this is how you convert a primitive to what? Object. And you know it very well now. Check out. Integer int I is equal to 10. I want to convert this into what? Object. How do you do it now? Integer x is equal to new integer of I. This is boxing. Converting primitive to this one is boxing, and you are doing it. Anyway, but you are converting primitive to wrapper now. What is the concept? Primitive to wrapper demo. Yes. So I have done it. That is one way. Or there is one more way. There is a static method in class integer. Check out. There is a static method in class integer. Integer, which is the method name? Value of. You just pass your primitive value. Return type of that would be what? Integer. Now why is this method static? Because still no object is not created. So we'll call the method. Now one object gets created and it will return the reference of it. Understood now? That's why I told you, understand how to send arguments and handle the return type. So if you call value of method and send argument of type int, the return type of this method is what? Integer. The return type of this method is integer. Are you following? Fine. Next, I can print. What is the value of I? 10 only. X also what? 10 only. Value will not change. But only x and p are of type what? This x and p are of type object. That's it. So this is how you can convert a primitive to object. So here I am showing you for int. You can see even for double. Double also the same story. See what am I doing? What am I using? I am using, one is the constructor. See on the top I have written notes. You can convert a primitive to object by using the constructor or by using what? Value of primitive type method. Not only int, see double also, see even boolean also. All I can convert. Any primitive can be converted to object. Any primitive. Understood? So if you want, you can see the output. Values will be same, man. Only the style is different. 10, 10, 10, 9 means I printed all the values here like this. SOP IXP is 10, 10, 10. Then next we are printing DY, the double values. Then we are printing the boolean value. The value remains same. True, true, true. Are you clear? So this is how you convert a primitive to object. Next. Next point now. And the same has been copied and pasted here. No more difference. The example from there I have copied and pasted into the document here. Understood? The example only, that same points I copied and pasted here. Next point now. How to convert primitive into another primitive. One primitive to another primitive. Till now you are typecasting. Yes or no? Don't do that also. See here. Primitive to another primitive. There is 999. Int I is 999. Now I want to convert this to byte. I want to convert this to short. You are writing code now. Don't do anything. See here. Integer set is equal to new integer of I. Now call the methods. See, these are the methods of what? Integer class. They are exposing the methods of what now? Integer class. Min value, max value, size. Then what? Int value I just now showed you. Okay, converting object to primitive. Now these are the other methods. Understood? Plenty of methods are there. So byte value gives you what? The byte value. Short value will give what? It will do the typecasting. They have written the logic inside that method for what? typecasting and all that, and they'll write that logic and they'll return the value. Why are you bothered about how they are writing the logic? That is abstraction for us. Use it. So what we do is we call the method and we get the return type. See, I brought the code into existence. My requirement was what? Understand what is oops now clearly. Okay. They have encapsulated all this code into what? One class called as integer. Okay. So my requirement now is I want to convert primitives to another primitive. So you don't write the logic. Instead of writing the logic, what will I do? I will create the object of which one? Integer class. Why am I creating the object of integer class? Because all this code is present in that class. So after creating the object, now what will I do? Call the methods. You are working with the functionality of it. So you are using a reference variable. Which one? Z is the reference variable which is used to work with the functionality of that object. You call the method, it will give you the return type. Yes or no? This is what you learned in oops. So you are saying the perfect implementation of oops now. Okay, oops is not over. Every day learn oops. From day 1 till the last class of Java, you will be learning what? Oops. In every program, in every class, I will talk about oops. Oops is not a small subject which can be understood in 2 days theory story. Like what? Car went up the hill, car came down the hill. Oops is over means it is not oops. This is actually oops. Understanding now? And how it works? Abstraction. Understanding what is encapsulation, what is abstraction, overloading, overriding. They are doing everything here. Fine, next. So this is how you convert. Now the very important interview question. How to convert into boolean or character? You don't have any method also. Simply I written there. You don't try typing there. Understood? If I remove it, it will give me error. There is no method. But generally when people see like this now, they get excited. What they'll tell? Z.char value will give me int. You cannot convert what? Non-numerics to numerics, numerics to non-numerics. We know this already. I had explained you this concept in primitive data types. Casting is possible only between what? Numerical side. Understood? So that I told you very clearly, but just because of your excitement I have added that method only is not there, and it's a very famous interview question also. How do you convert an int to byte? You'll tell very proudly like this. Then they'll ask float, you'll tell short, you'll tell, means you'll tell what? Byte value, short value, char, everything you'll tell. Suddenly when they say char value, you'll say char value method. So be careful with that. Understood? So that's why to be careful only I have given you this point here. Clear? Fine. Next example now. How to convert primitive to string now. What do I want to do? Primitive to string. Yes, primitive to string means, okay, we'll see more examples now. Close this, primitive to string. Yeah, here, primitive to string, this one now, you can open it. Say x is 99, I want to convert it to what? Primitive to string is the question, correct? Huh? What is that we want now? Yeah, we want to convert primitive to string, third one now. Yes, primitive to string now. What will I do? This is primitive now. X is of primitive style. It's having a value 99. How will I convert it? Integer dot toString. I can use the toString method present of what? The corresponding wrapper class. So one more method you are seeing now. Which one? ToString of class integer. Or see, this is one more way. Convert the primitive to what? Object. And you know which one? Call the toString method. That will also return what? Convert the primitive to object. And call toString method. You know a toString method, no? It will return you string. Or you can also use one more way. There are 3-4 ways. Whichever one you want to use. String dot value of. See this. I am using value of method of class string. I am passing primitive here. It can be anything, int, short, anything. But return type of that is what? String. Or I can also pass the object. Wrapper object. Understood? Or wrapper class to what? Value of method of class string. See, this is a overloaded method. Value of is a overloaded method. Here it is accepting what? Primitive. Here it is accepting object. But return type of both the methods is string. So since you are strong in Java, this code is becoming comfortable to you. Understood? Because you have put so much of effort learning what? Class, method name, arguments, parameters, return type. That's why very comfortably you are understanding the library now. That's it is very difficult to understand the library. Clear? Fine. Are you clear with all this now? Fine. Next, more questions. I'll bring come on to top, man. Wrapper to primitive. I want to convert what now? Wrapper object to primitive. Just now you saw. Which method you are calling? Integer I is equal to new integer. I want to convert wrapper to primitive. What will I do? Int value method. Wrapper to primitive. One way is these methods you can call byte value, short value, any method you want. You can convert from object to primitive. Same. There I was talking one primitive to another primitive, but here we are talking about object to primitive. Almost all later on it will become same now. Understood? Then next other question. Wrapper to string. You want to convert what? Object to wrapper object to string. Fine. Wrapper to string. So these many options are there. See, this is first you got primitive. So I want to convert from wrapper to string. Remember that. So this is first I'll convert it to object, and you know this now. Which method you'll call? To string. Return type will be string. So you're converting what now? Wrapper to string. Or directly say integer dot to string. Means this is a static method. Pass the argument now. Which one? Wrapper. And return type of that is what? String. It's all getting into the library now. Are you clear? Any questions? So like this many conversions are there. Other two conversions you only go through which one? String to primitive and string to wrapper. You only go through that. Same. Okay. And now you might be thinking, should I by heart all this? Don't by heart. You should only know how to use the library. Because as soon as I show you all this, you'll be thinking, no, should I by heart all this and all that? No, nothing. You can go to internet. Okay. Type. What you want you type. You got all solutions. Example for. Supposing you are stuck in the company. Understood? You want to convert something to something. Example for. Okay. What do you want to do? Primitive to or primitive to object in Java. You'll get all the documents now. You can open auto boxing and boxing. Okay, many examples you'll find. Whichever you want, you can open and start using it. Don't by heart anything. Understood? So now they go on telling the story. What is boxing? See, this is how you do it. All solutions you'll get. I'm only setting the basics. Understood? So actually, in when you're working in industry now, you should know how to Google first. What are the accurate keywords to type to get your solution? Correct keywords you have to type. Only then you'll get your answer to your problem. Else you'll keep on searching everywhere. Understood? And that will come with practice too. That's why I'm putting onto internet directly. Search here. I'm putting you onto internet so that if you make it as a practice, it will become easy for you later stage. Are you clear with this? So yeah, so this completes what is that? Wrapper class. Okay. So how many classes we completed? 8. Understood? Now we'll get into the most important subject now of Java, and see some more interview questions. How to convert primitive into primitive boolean? Into boolean? No. But these are asked in interview. Means always remember the formula. Numeric to non-numeric not possible. Non-numeric to numeric also not possible. Okay, how to convert primitive into primitive character? Cannot. How to convert primitive boolean to primitive number type? Cannot. How to convert character to other data type? Cannot. Rest all you can convert. I showed you all the conversions. Are you clear? Fine. Next. We'll go to the next important subject, boxing. Okay. So this is very, very important now. Boxing is a process of converting what? Primitives to object. Unboxing is a process of converting what? Objects to primitives. Clear? One second. I completed how much? How to convert primitives to wrapper? How to convert? Yeah, just for the video purpose, I'm showing you question by question. Okay, second question, third question, and this would be the answer for third question. No, this is the fourth question. This is the fifth question. Fifth question means the same conversions. Understood? Wrapper object to string and all that. Sixth question, how to convert string to primitive. Finally, the seventh question, how to convert string to wrapper. For the video purpose, I just showed you. If you want, you can write it there. These are the last things. Now I'll come back to auto boxing. What is boxing? Boxing is a process of converting primitives to objects. Unboxing is a process of converting objects to primitives, and we did this now. This is how you are doing it now. Yes? Okay, fine now. Now, auto-boxing, one more new feature was added in 1.5. One more new feature was added in 1.5. Okay. So earlier, up till 1.4, developer was doing explicitly boxing and unboxing like this. It was very much time consuming. Understood? You have to write a lot of code for that. Yes or no? You are writing now? How you are writing? For boxing, what is the code you are writing? Supposingly, see this. Int I is equal to 10. Yes or no? I want to convert I to what? Object. You are writing code now. How do you write? You know, integer x is equal to new integer of. But you are writing code for this also now. Don't write. What you will do? Integer x is equal to I is highly valid statement today. From 1.5 onwards. If you write the syntax in 1.4, it is error. From 1.5 it will execute. Technically, if you see from Java point of view, till now what we learned, what is happening here? You are trying to give a primitive value to reference variable now. Primitive value to what? Reference variable. I is what? Primitive value. But you are giving to x. X is what? Reference variable. Reference variable of type what? Integer. So till now we have seen box p is equal to 10. Not possible now. Why? You cannot give a primitive value to reference variable. Same story here. Integer x is equal to I. I cannot give what? Primitive value to a reference variable. X is a reference variable. I cannot give it. But today it works. And if you print SOPX valid, and this is called as boxing, but this is called as auto boxing. Internally it will do it for you. JVM. What it will do? It sees now. During execution it sees it is of type what? Primitive. It will only convert it into object, and then it will give that value to x. Means a new object will be created. Okay, a new object will be created, and that reference of that object will be stored in x variable. Value will be same. Clear? Now one more thing. Unboxing now. Okay, till now how you are doing? See, autoboxing is a process of converting primitives to objects and objects to primitives automatically. Earlier this process was done by the developer explicitly, but from JDK 1.5 onwards it is done implicitly. Clear? See this. Now, integer z is equal to 10. Autoboxing now? Yeah. Autoboxing can be classified into two types, that is boxing and unboxing. Means this is auto boxing, this is auto unboxing. Directly see here, z is of type what? Integer no. Directly z value I am giving it to what? Int. Fine. Why do you want to call the int value method? Till now are you converting it? By calling int value method. Now we will not do it directly. So this, and why it is useful we will understand later, but just understand today it is implicit. Boxing and unboxing today is implicit. Clear? And why they have done this, we will see it later. As you go on writing the code, you will understand this. Clear? So all these points are clear now. So now we will go with these examples. So after you understand this, now we can write more programs. Okay. See earlier, int I is equal to 10. How are you doing boxing? Integer x is equal to new integer of I. So this is boxing only, but it is explicit boxing. Means developer is doing it. Understood? Developer is doing this. Okay. And if you want to convert into int, you'll say what? Int value. Return type of this is what? Int z. So this is explicit unboxing. You are doing it. So for that reason, let's see now. Explicit example for explicit boxing and unboxing. One more. Implicit boxing and unboxing. This is very simple. See, integer x is equal to 10. Directly 10 value I am giving to what? X. Or you can store it in variable into it, that's your wish. But this is auto boxing or implicit boxing. Okay. Auto means implicit. Then next, which one? Int I is equal to x. So this is auto unboxing. That's it. So you should be very careful now from SCJP point of view. Terrific questions are there based on this. So first you have to understand locally, like what value you can give to what variable, and then it will come into what? Arguments and parameters. Understood? So arguments and parameters, and then the questions will be based on overloading. Now overloading becomes very important. If I have M1 method, first understand this, then you'll understand all this. Int I. Then there's one more M1 method. It is overloaded. Integer I. So this is class hello. I'll create the object. Hello h is equal to new hello. These are all your SCJP questions which we'll discuss tomorrow. So what will I say? Hello h is equal to new hello. H dot M1, and I'll pass a value of 10. Correct. But which one should execute? Getting the question now? So very tricky interview questions are there on the SCJP based on all this. So tomorrow we'll see. But here your answer is it will execute M1 of type int. This one it will execute. First preference is given to old style. Then preference will be, means first preference is given to what? Primitive style. Then preference will be given to object. If that was not there, M1, this M1 would have got executed. Because why? Boxing will happen. So first understand locally, that's why. Clearly work on the local side, which are in the single method. Local assignment you understand properly, automatically you'll understand how you can send arguments to different methods. Understood? So this is very, very crucial example now. Clear? So tomorrow we'll get into overloading. Using what? Primitives, boxing and var args. Combination of three will be seen. Boxing, var args and primitive. Tomorrow we'll see examples for that. Clear this now? We'll see more examples on this overloading. Fine. So now see, I want to add two numbers. Okay. So see this. Integer x is equal to 10. Valid now? Valid now. But I decided to store it in what? Object. Fine. Valid. Understood. Now this is very interesting. See this. X plus plus. I can use an increment operator with what? X. Y. Here implicit unboxing will happen. Unboxing will happen. Okay. Value will be incremented. Then again boxing will be happening. Should be very careful with this. So SOP X will be what? 11. Plenty of interview questions are there on this. Highly valid. I can, but for other reference variables I can't use. Yes or no? String S is equal to hello. Can I say S plus plus? Can I use the increment operator on that? No. But for integer I can use it. Are you clear with this, sir? Okay, then more. See this. This is one example. I'll type and show you all this. Integer x is equal to 10. Okay. Then next, integer y is equal to 20. I want to do addition. Fine. Highly valid code. And I store it in what? If you want, you can store it in integer z also, or you can store it in int z also. Both are valid code. What's the difference? Means how it works. Let's see how it works. So x. Okay, here when you are doing when you are using this wrapper classes in expressions, when you are using wrapper classes in expressions, okay, unboxing will happen automatically, implicitly now. See, earlier it was a big headache. You were converting objects to primitives to object and doing all that logic now. But no, nothing. Just try, say x plus y. What is happening now? X will be unboxed because you are using it in a expression. JM is very clever now. What it will do? It will do unboxing. So value of x is what? 10 only. But only unboxing is happening, primitive. Then y is unboxing. It will do the addition. What is the result? 30. It is still in primitive style. Again it will give the value to z. Directly it will give the value to z. Here what happens? X is unboxed, means unboxing. Y also unboxing. Addition will be performed. And the result 30. Again boxing will happen. And that result will be stored in z. All implicit. Understood? So the luxury what the language is giving you is amazing. Understood? So definitely, see, when you are having primitives now, we need lot of functionality, like utility. So for that, use the wrapper class support this. Okay, if you want to do mathematical operations and all that, in fact, you should not use wrapper classes. Now here, see, let's talk about performance. Here, let's talk about performance. See here, what's happening? I want to do actually mathematical operation. Yes or no? So here, here unboxing will happen, addition will happen, then again. Here, okay, unboxing is happening, addition is happening, and it is giving the value to z. But here, unboxing is happening, addition is getting performed, again boxing is happening, and then given to z. So this is performance overhead. This is performance overhead. Understood? Again, boxing, unboxing, and all that. So generally, if you want to use the variables in which are values in expressions, it's better you use the primitive style. So now we are discussing when to use primitives and when to use wrapper classes. Now we are discussing when to use primitives and when to use wrapper classes. Okay, if you really want to do addition, okay, better you go for what? Primitives. Int y is equal to 20. Int z is equal to x plus y. You are working with primitives now. Fast it will be. Performance will be fast. Understood? So that is why Java is not eliminating the support of what? Primitives. For performance factor only, they are retaining the primitives. Understood? And why they are giving the support for wrapper classes? Yes, you just know some. Like why do you convert the primitives to object? You get some utility methods. That is one reason. And also primitives will be converted to objects for one more reason, main reason. When you want to store them into collections. When you want to store them into collections also, you will convert primitives to object. All that we'll see next very slowly. But just learn this factor now. You can convert primitives to objects and objects to primitives. Clear? So this is a very good example. We'll see. I'll type this and all these things now, and I'll show you the output. Okay. So these are all valid syntaxes and code now. See, this example is related to wrapper class only. Understood? This example is related to wrapper class only. So what I'll do, I'll create a new Java project only. 1 second. So new Java project you create. Second. You know how to create the new projects now? New Java project. Okay, then next. See, give the name as 05 only, but I'll name it as B. Okay, and I'll give the title as auto boxing and unboxing. Yes, auto boxing and unboxing. This is the project name. 5B, and change this name to what? First one. 5A. So that all the examples will get in neatly when you see it. If they are related topics, name it like that. A, B. Understood? So 5B auto boxing now. So this is a new project. Let's start seeing it now. New class. I'll go with the package com cluster dot boxing. Class name is what? boxing demo. Yeah, see this. This is how you were writing the code. Int I is equal to 10. Now what we do? Integer x is equal to new integer of I. So this is explicit boxing. Means why it's called explicit? Because I am doing it, developer. Understood? So this is valid. But the same, see what I'll do. Integer y is equal to I is valid. See there. No error. This is possible only in what? 1.5 and above. Implicit boxing and unboxing is supported. It's a new feature which is added in 1.5. Understood? So then next, sys out. The value is same. Check out. I am printing only x and y value. I value if you want to print, both will be same. There is no difference. Understood? Or instead of giving like this directly, see this, int y is equal to, I can give directly also 100. Valid code, still valid code. And directly in the value. Clear? Understood? But this is what now? Implicit boxing. Clear? Now this is done. I will comment this. Okay. To this. Okay, we'll do one thing now. X is there now. Now see what will I do with x? X plus plus. Any error? No, no. So I can use what? Like a normal variable I can use. Normal what? Primitive variable I can use. Understood? But only thing is how it will work is internally unboxing will happen, increment will happen, and then boxing will happen. It has got incremented. Clear? It has got incremented. Check this out. Fine. Then next. I can use this. Now we'll do addition. Integer. Okay. X and Y are there, no? Okay. Here I just want to do addition. So in that case, if I write the code like this, it will have the performance means effect. It will be an overhead now. I want to actually do addition. See how much of overhead? Everything is working, but the overhead you see. Here boxing is happening. Here also boxing is happening. Here in an expression unboxing will happen. Then addition will be performed. Now to store the value in Z, again boxing will happen. So it is performance overhead. If you want to use the utility methods and other things, then you store the value in a object. Else you better, if you want to use it in expressions and all that, better you go for what? Primitive type. So Java is giving you tremendous support for programming for the developers. Understood? So now I can print value of Z is. It will print the addition, sum of both. Value of Z is 30. Done? Okay. So some points in the document we'll see now. We'll go back and see. I told you long back, we had a question in the beginning. When should you use primitive or wrapper classes? This question we did discuss, two questions. If you want to store values in collection, or if you want to use the utility methods, then use wrapper class. Till now I have not covered collections, we'll see it, don't worry. Then next, but if you want to write expressions or do mathematical operations, expressions and all that, okay, so that time it's better you go for what? Primitive style. Understood? Now what do you mean by expression? That is also one more thing. See, expression is something like this. In switch case also you can use what? Switch expression you can use what? Wrapper class. So they are automatically unboxing. Switch, there's a rule when you are using switch statement, you have to use what? Int, short, byte, some rules are there. But you can use even wrapper class there. That is one expression. Or in if, see, this is a very important thing. In interview they will ask you very cleverly. These are expressions, you have learnt expressions. Boolean, B is equal to true, valid, no? But B is what? Object type. It can be used in if expression. Unboxing will happen there. Or you write boolean B is equal to new boolean of true. This is implicit boxing, no? If you want to write explicit, boolean B is equal to new boolean of true, boolean B is equal to new boolean of true, and write if B, it will work. Check this out. Till now you have stored in primitives and worked. But now you can store the same value in this one also and work. And it can be used in expressions or in mathematical operations like which I wrote now, 10 plus 2 or x plus y and all that. Yeah? Fine. So now next, if you want to write expressions or do mathematical operation like addition, subtraction, etc., use primitive. Even addition is the expression, arithmetic expression it is. Any expression, boxing and unboxing will start happening. Whether it is switch case expression or whether it is if expression, okay, conditional expressions, or whether it is arithmetic expression. So in any expression, boxing and unboxing will definitely be happening. Fine, next. Why is Java giving support for both primitive and wrapper? If you have that question. Reason is performance. Java is having excellent performance because of the existence of primitive data types. They are still retaining it. They didn't phase it out. They are still retaining what? Primitive types. Okay. So then primitive is having better performance while doing mathematical operations or when used in expressions. Next point. If you use wrapper in expressions or mathematical operations, too much of boxing and unboxing will occur. This will become an overhead and brings down the performance. This will bring down the performance. That's why, see, wrapper classes should be used only when you want to store values in collections or when you want to use the support of utility methods like converting one data type to another type or comparing two values, checking equality of two values, etc. Clear? And one more example I told you. Are you clear with all this now? Primitives and wrapper classes? Okay. Now that one example which I showed you just now, I'll just type it and show you now. Which one? The overloading. But more of overloading, we'll be seeing it in the next class. Just check this out, very interesting. New class, overloading demo. Overloading boxing demo. So I'll write class hello now. I'll write it in a separate class or same file. Start practicing it in separate files. New class, same package but HELLO. I written right now only one method, and for this I'll write on demo class. Overloading hello, okay, overloading demo, no? Okay, see this. We'll continue more examples with this in the next session. Just see this now. done. See, int I is equal to 10. Isn't it primitive? Isn't it primitive? H dot m1 valid. What is the argument I'm sending? 10. Will it execute or not? Definitely, because while sending it as an argument, boxing will happen. Highly valid code, and m1 was getting executed. But in the same class, if I add understood. Now int x is overloading. Perfect example for overloading. So overloading questions will be like this for you. Understood? Yes, CJP and all, these are the questions you will get. Inside primitive int m1. Now you see. Inside primitive int m1. Getting it now? So preference is given more to primitive first. First preference is given to primitive, then preference is given to boxing. Okay, now a lot of combinations will come. Very tricky questions. This will be long. And that is wrapper. What will happen? Now we say like this, whether widening will happen or auto boxing will happen. Preference is given to widening. Understood? Preference is given to widening. All your old style is given preference first. What you learnt, old style is given preference first. Understood? Then preference will be given to boxing. In fact, long will get executed here. Means int. Yes or no? It's not executing this. It's executing primitive int. The long one gets executed. So more questions are there on this. So tomorrow means first preference is given to what? Primitive style. But again, if there is an option for widening and auto boxing, preference is given to what? Widening. Understood? So supposingly if this is char, now which one will execute? Integer will execute. So like this, you only have to do R&D on this. It's just on basics I'm sitting. Understood? And if you're perfect here, then you can write SCJP exams very neatly. Yeah? Fine. So tomorrow I'll show you overloading with varargs. Varargs is pending now. I'll send 3 int. Okay. And I'll overload with 3 int. Let's see all that tomorrow. Permutation and combination, which are having doubts earlier, that will clear it off tomorrow. Yeah? Okay. So that's it. Any questions you're having, ask. No questions?